Hello, this is Lori with LM's Crafty Creations, and I'm here to share my Christmas Craftology project with you for countrycraftcreations.com. I have used the Echo Park Gingerbread Christmas collection, and I used the entire collection pack plus several of these stickers. And this is the project that I have created. My album measures 7 inches by 9 inches. And I really created it to be like a recipe album, but you could also use it as a photo album if you like. But this collection was really perfect for recipes because of all the gingerbread and the candy in it. So on the front cover, I layered a cut apart here under two of the pieces of coordinating paper that went with the collection that came in our kit. And then, of course, I just layered some pattern paper here. This is the border strip. On the spine, I decided to do, this is velvet paper made by Doodlebug Designs. I use this quite a bit in my albums, and actually I used it this time, not because I wanted to, but because I was trying to cover up a mistake. I messed up the album cover, and it was ripping on the outside here, and so I put the velvet paper on the back, and it solved that problem. I used the ribbon that came from the kit on the spine, and then I punched out my hexagons out of the paper collection and just did my little collage on the back because I was running out of paper at the end. This is quite a large book. So on the inside, I have a corner pocket. I had done this recently in another album. I really liked the way it turned out, so I did it again. And I just added a cut apart here. Again, I used scraps to mat that part. And I did photo mats. They're quite large. And I decided to leave them blank so that you could write extra recipes or fill them with photos, whatever you like. Every page is alike, and the album has 4 pages. I did 2 small, what I call tag pockets on the front, and they all hold the 3x4 cut aparts, so there's plenty of those in this collection. And then I created these pockets to also hold photos. These tags are like 3 3/4 by 5.5. And that is the same on every page, so I won't pull them out of every pocket. I also did, for a change, I haven't done these in a while, but I did the photo mats for the base pages. These are 5 3/4 by 8 inches, I believe. So also photos or recipes, whatever you like. And they fit right in there. They kind of stick out the top so that you can pull them out easily. On this page, I left it quite plain, and I did that throughout the album. My idea was that you would use these spaces to write down your favorite family recipes, whether it be cookies or Thanksgiving or Christmas dishes or whatever you want. And the little recipe cards are never big enough for me, so because I write large, and so I thought you would put maybe the ingredients here and then the directions for the recipe down here, and that way you can get 2 recipes in this space. I've just added some stickers from the collection as well as some enamel dots. And on this side I just have a large pocket again where you can put a photo mat. This one is not a booklet, it's just a plain photo mat. And then I added this sticker, and this was a piece of ephemera from the collection. I did an acetate pocket as well, just because I wanted to. And here I have 2 4x4 photo mats, because this collection had lots of cut aparts and I used them all. Here is another one. So another photo mat here that I thought you could do your recipes here, and then you can also put either photos of your recipes on these or photos of you and your family making the recipes together. This is my favorite spread because I just love all of the Christmas stuff together. These were cut aparts from the collection that I added, and again, these are the cut aparts that I used for those pockets. And then we have the tag photo mats, and then again the plain. These are pieces from the ephemera pack, and then more enamel dots. I do have the pull-out photo mat, and then this one is a booklet. And then there's more cut aparts in here. And here is a photo mat. And then I added a little sticker down there at the bottom. This is the ribbon from the middle of the book. Here I actually added a couple of extra cut-aparts from the collection that came with it. And then there's those. Then the tags. Again, plain for recipes or photos. So you can tuck your photo or recipe. You can actually print out your recipe cards on the computer on paper and stick them and glue them down here too. So if you don't like to write it all out, there's a photo mat there. And then I just had a plain photo mat here because, believe it or not, I ran out of cut-aparts to add to the front. This is a piece from the ephemera pack. And then there's those 4x4 cut-aparts. And then this was a piece, a cut-apart from the collection as well. That was just extra that I stuck in this pocket. Here are two more smaller photo mats. I always like to use all of the cut-aparts. And then a large space. Again, these are just stickers that I mounted on black cardstock and cut them out. And then you have the enamel dots again. Here is the photo mat. Another one here. These, I just stuck these stickers on here, kind of collaged them together. And then this is all of my leftover photo mats and cut-aparts here. There's a tag. There's a little cut-apart there. And then these are the ones that I had left that I stuck in here. And then there's one more right there with a sticker. And then the same is on the front and back cover. You have the corner pockets with the cut-apart glued on, and then here is the booklet for this back. So I am going to show you how to make this album, at least the page styles. I'm going to show you that during the video. So I'm going to set that aside and grab my tools and my glue. And all my pieces. We're going to start out with one piece cut to 12 inches by 8.5 inches, and then you're going to score on the 12-inch side at 6 inches. So you're going to score it right down the middle and fold it in half. That's going to be the first base piece. Then you're going to flip this over and we're going to make our binding pocket. And that is cut to 6 inches by 9.5 inches. You're going to score on the 9.5 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and then fold on those corners, or those score lines. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue to glue this down. And I like gluing just one side at a time to make sure I get everything even. And the other side. I've included all of my measurements in the description box down below, so if you'll check that out, they will all be there, including the measurements you need to make the actual hard cover for the album. I won't be showing you in this video how to make that album cover, but I will link a video down below where I have instructions on how to do that. Okay, so this is our base page. So flip it back over to the front where the flap is opening that way, and we're going to add some pockets. So we're going to add the larger pockets first, the ones that I put the tags in. And you can tell that I've already cut my little notch using my envelope punch board. If you want to do that, then you cut your pockets and you have to fold in your flaps, and then you measure, this is what, 4 1/4. So you're going to punch your notch at 2 1/8 to get that right in the middle there. So these pockets are cut to, what did I say? It's 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. You're going to score on the 5 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5 1/4 side at 1/2 inch on each end. And you're going to need 2 pockets for every page that you make. Grab my scissors. So I'm going to miter my corners of each pocket, and these should fit side by side perfectly on the page. So I have turned mine kind of sideways because it's easier for me to add them that way. And I like to kind of test my fit first. So I'm going to go ahead and fold on all these score lines. And it looks like they're going to fit perfectly. So you're going to take the first one and add your glue. And you're going to stick it right up against that fold and right up against the edge of the page. And make sure that if you did your notch that it's pointing out that way. And then we're going to add the next one just right beside it. And it should fit and line up perfectly. Okay, now we're going to add our smaller pockets. These are cut to 5 1/4 by 3 1/2. You're going to score on the 3 1/2 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5 1/4 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Now you'll notice that with this one I didn't add the notches to this pocket because when I put it down here I wanted to be able to mat it in one straight piece, but you can add the notches if you like, and you can mat them separately or together, whatever you prefer. And these are basically going to go just right on top of the other pockets that you just put down. Okay, just line them up exactly on top with the other pocket. And if they are cut correctly, they will fit perfectly. I'm going to add the other one right next to it, lining up right up against it. But make sure you don't go over it. Okay, so now we have our page with 2 pockets, one here, and then 2 down below. So in the middle of the page it's just left plain, so you can decorate the middle however you like. And then we're going to turn it over and we're going to go ahead and add our flap. So our flap is cut to 5 inches by 7 1/2, and then you're going to score on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then go ahead and fold on that score line, and you're going to put glue on the inside of the flap, and you're going to glue this to the inside of the pocket here. So you have this flap. So let's go ahead and do that. And just line it up and get it kind of in the middle as much as you can. Just make sure you don't go over your score line, otherwise your flap will not fold correctly. It helps if you fold it over while you're gluing to make sure it lays flat. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to add this pocket here. This pocket is larger and it's cut to 6 7/8 by 4 3/4. Score on the 4 3/4 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 6 7/8 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end, and miter your corners and fold on your score lines. We're just going to glue this pocket down to the bottom of the page. So add your glue, and you're going to line it up with this side because you should have a little gap on this side. So I'll show you that up close in just a minute. I tried to use blue cardstock because I'm out of brown, and I thought the blue would be easier to see than the black, but it's still kind of difficult. So you'll see that you should have that gap right there. Okay. That gives this flap enough room to fold correctly. Alright, let's go ahead and add this small pocket, and then we'll do our acetate pocket there. So the small pocket, again, I punched my notch in it already, and this one measures 5.5 by 2.5. Score on the 2.5 inch side at 1/2 inch, and then on the 5.5 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. And then miter those corners and fold on the score lines. And then we're going to add this pocket, the small pocket, to the back side of this flap right here. You're just going to line it up at the very bottom, and it'll cover from end to end. So there is the pocket, and then we have to do the acetate pocket on the inside, and then that is it for the album, for the pages. So you're going to start out with a piece of cardstock cut to 8.5 inches by 4 7/8. You're going to score on the 4 7/8 inside at 1/2 inch, and then on the 8.5 inch side at 1/2 inch on each end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and miter the corners. And I'm going to flip it over to where the score lines are on the bumpy side. So there's little bumps here, and you'll see that I already drew my lines. So what you're going to want to do is take your ruler. There's one side, of course, that has no score lines. So you're going to measure 3/4 of a way down, and then you're going to draw a line. On the other side, you're going to have to measure over not only the 3/4 of an inch, but also another 1/2 inch to count for your flap. And you'll have to do that for all of your other sides. So it's basically measuring over 1.25 inches and drawing a line. So you want a 3/4 of an inch box around your flap. or your pocket. So now that I have the lines drawn, I'm going to take them and I'm going to cut it out. You want to try to stay on your pencil marks as much as you can when you cut this out. Sometimes that's hard to do. I'm not always the straightest cutter, but it doesn't always matter. Probably won't see it in the end. Okay, so we're going to discard that piece, and then you're going to take your piece of acetate. The acetate is cut to 3 5/8 by 6 3/4. Mine is decorative, so yours can be clear. Mine was clear in the album, but I just happened to have this piece on my table, so I decided to use it. So I've added 1/4 inch score tape all the way around, and you notice that if you're using a design, a piece of acetate that has a design on it, you're going to want to add the tape to the part where the picture is showing, because see, this part is going to be inside the pocket. So when I glue it down and flip my pocket over, you want that part to show. So I'm going to take the tape off and stick it down. And just make sure you line it up to where there's no tape overlapping the empty space. And I'm just going to press this down so that it sticks really well. And there is our acetate pocket. This one looks really cute against the blue background. It'd be really cute if you had some that was decorated like a candy cane for this album, but I've never seen that. Okay, so now we're going to fold on our score lines for the pocket. And we're going to glue it down. So let's just test it. Now when you glue it down, you're going to want to put it all the way at the top of the flap. So you notice I've turned my page sideways. I'm going to glue my pocket down at the very top of the flap, and that should give you the tiniest gap at the bottom so that the flap can fold correctly. So we're going to add our glue. And add it to the very top. We're going to line it up. And there's our pocket. Now when you fold it over, it should shut fine, and I have glue hanging over. There we go. And that's the page. Really simple page, but I think the book turned out really cute. So just because it's simple doesn't mean it can't be cute. Just all depends on how you decorate it. So that is it for this project. Don't forget that all of the measurements for the tags that I put, the photo mats that are in the cover, the binding, all of that is in the description box down below. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And we want to see your projects so you can show them on either Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations Facebook page, or you can show them on my Facebook page at LM's Crafty Creations. Thanks for watching. Bye.